Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today I am going back to working on the farm after our brief intermission with the frogs last episode. So I'm going to be working on the farmhouses, specifically the ones over here by the windmill. I just want to get this little area kind of filled out and polished, I guess, because we've got the windmill over here and we put the tree in and we've got all the farms in, but we don't have anywhere for the farmers to live, so I wanted to put these little houses in here. So that is what I'm going to work on today. I also want to work on adding a bit more foliage around and make it feel more lived in. So like adding carts, hanging out on the sides of things, and adding more foliage and really making it feel like people are living and working in this farmland so that it's not just fields with nobody around. I am not going to add in any armor stands or anything yet, but I am going to try and make it feel a little bit more lively in here. So I think we're going to start off with the time lapse again, which feels like the trend for my videos. So let's get started. Look, all the dogs are laying down. Aw, they're so cute though. I need to find spots for them. Okay, but back to what I was saying. So basically, what I did is I added the rest of the pathways in so it looks all nice, and it even goes all the way down, and then it stops here because I didn't feel like doing it anymore. And I don't really know what I'm going to do with that area. But it goes up this way, this path that I forgot last time. And I'm excited to work on these farmhouses, but that'll probably wait until next time. And it goes up and over, and this is a little funky, so I might change it up, but it works for now. And then we've got the farmhouses, which I think turned out pretty cute. I try to go for some unique styles, and I took some inspiration from Pinterest, specifically for this one. It's kind of Italian inspired, I believe. I changed up the colors a bit and a little bit of the shape, but I think it turned out pretty cute, and I forgot to put the window in there. Okay. But then we have this one, which I think is my favorite because it's just so cute. And I really like the colors that I did with it. I like how I worked in the purple. And I still need to get some, I think, alliums to put in the windowsill because I only have one. So I'll have to go get more of those. But then we have this little house, which is a separate house even though they are connected. And I thought this one was just really dainty and simple and cute. And we've got a little cart over here as well, which I had a lot of fun building. I love putting little carts in things. And off camera, I also added this tree in here because it really needed some more foliage. And eventually the path will go down into the water. And then finally we have this house here, which is inspired by Necro's build, all the way over there. I went for a muted purple since this is pretty far away from like the main market. But I like it, it's simple, it's cute, it's got a bright blue door. Oh. And yeah, they're all empty on the inside, big surprise, didn't do the interiors. But I think they turned out really cute and I'm pretty happy with them. I do want to add some more foliage, of course, and I might do that later in the video or next video. But now I think I'm going to perform a miracle and do the interior of the keep. I was thinking about it and watching some videos, and I really think I've got some ideas for what I want to do with this space. I'm going to start out by putting a bunch of floors in, and I don't know if I'm going to move the beacon. I think it might be able to be hidden under the floor here. I don't know. We'll find out. You'll get to watch the whole process. And I also might add I know I went through my storage room and deleted a section, the section that led up into the keep. But I'm kind of thinking maybe I'll put a ladder over here or something, just so I can bring that back so that I don't have to leave out the front door and come back in the side door every time I want to get something from down here. So, yeah, let's get started. So as I mentioned, I really wanted to find an easy way to get up and down between the keep and the storage room while I was working on this interior, and somewhat in general. I tried adding ladders here, but when I dug straight up, it blocked right off with the edge of the build above, so I had to take it all down, and then I was trying to think, like if I moved it back a block, that was going to be kind of disruptive to the build downstairs. So I really sat and looked and ran up and down the stairs multiple times trying to figure out just where I could put this access point, and ultimately I just added a ladder here because Necro and I have been complaining to each other about how we have to go all the way to the other side, go down the stairs, and then come back to get stuff from downstairs, so I just added this here and left it at that. Then I got straight to work on planning out and figuring the floors for the keep and how I wanted to lay it out. The bottom floor here was of course the easiest because it is just one flat area. The only issue I kind of had was the beacon being in the way, but I got it covered up later and it wasn't an issue. And then I got started on the second floor, which I had a bit more trouble with, especially with these corner windows. I kind of wanted them to be a feature, but ultimately couldn't figure out how to work them in without it being super awkward. I even changed some of the outside of the wall to try and figure something out that worked, but ultimately I just had to cover it up and put frog lights in the windows. I also tried to work this tower that comes out the very top of the build into this. I was originally planning to put the staircase in here so that it would be easy way up and down all in one central location, but as I built up I got to this problem where the tower was going to block the middle of the window of this room. So I sat here and stared at it and tried to figure it out, tried to think if I could move it without having to redo the entire exterior of the build. And I ultimately decided that I was just going to have the tower start on the roof above this room and not have it go all the way down to the floor and not worry about it until later. There is also a little bit of a time skip here because I forgot to hit record, which happens to me all the time. It's very frustrating. Then as I was working on this section, I realized the windows here were not equal on both sides, so I went around and fixed that. And I also peeked down into the open space below to try and figure out where I was going to put stairs or if there was logically more space for rooms up here because this room is tiny. And then I started adding some ceilings so that I could just try and get some ideas of a room. I actually ended up changing, I think, all of the ceilings that I put in here, upstairs and downstairs, because they weren't interesting enough, and this is where I tried to put another spiral staircase, but really, while this would have worked all the way up, I did not want another tight spiral staircase like that because they make me so dizzy when I go up and down them. Half the time I don't even turn my character when I'm going up and down. So I also decided to just get rid of that and put something else there. Then I had to take a break because I ran out of pale wood and I really needed some more. I was underestimating how many materials I needed for the interior of this build, which I shouldn't have because it's a huge build. Then I got started on more ceilings, this time downstairs by the front door, and again, these all get removed later, so don't get attached to them. And it was also kind of hard to figure out where to put the beacon in here. Honestly, I probably should have moved it up into some of that empty space so I didn't have to deal with it all the way down to the floor, but I didn't think of that till just now, so... I also originally was planning for this room to be the kitchen, which is why I put this cute little ceiling in there. But a few minutes later, I decided to put a staircase in here, and as I was going up and I got up to the next level, it was bumping into the window that sticks out, and there was really no realistic way up. So I had to just remove it all. I'm sure you can see where some of my frustration is coming from with this build. So then I decided that this room might be a cute place for the staircase, so I rebuilt it in here, and this is where it ended up staying. Also, I did move that door one block over so that it was centered with the staircase a little better, and I brought it all the way up to this level, and I think that turned out pretty nice. And for our last staircase, I did end up doing a little spiral staircase over in that corner, and I know it's kind of hard to see in the time-lapse. There wasn't really a good way to film it because it's such a tiny space, but you'll get to see it here when we go back downstairs. Right there, and I really like the combination of the stripped pale oak and the spruce. I think it looks so cute. So after finishing the room layout, I got to work right away on working on the different rooms and how they were going to be laid out and really doing the interior decorating. So I started off with this library book wall because I knew I wanted to have like a personal library in the keep where you just hang out with books. But obviously, still working on the library interior and I don't have enough leather for books. So I had to collect some wheat here and I did replant it all, don't worry. And it's not in this little time lapse, but I did go breed up the cows and get some more leather. And that filled in most of my wall, but not all of it. And then I added a cute little table in there, which you'll see more of later. So then, unfortunately, as I was recording the kitchen, I realized I didn't unpause my time lapse, so we missed the entirety of my favorite room. But we did get all of the entryway and the little tiny dining area that I added in here. And I got this inspiration for this cabinet from Pinterest. I really liked it and I added my own little touches on it as well, like the little tiny ender chest and some other stuff. I had decided I didn't like the lights on the front either. I really wanted it to be more moody in here than that, so I ended up changing that up. And I do love the ceiling in this entryway. I think it's so cute the way that it's kind of like crisscrossed up above, and it makes a really interesting ceiling. So then I moved up to this little awkward space where I knew I wanted to put the bed up here. And so I was working on that and really couldn't find any good way to frame this bed to make it look more massive. So I just ended on a bedside table. And then I reworked the ceiling up here because I was really trying to have more interesting ceilings. Because when I was walking around here before I took all the ceilings out that I previously did, they're just so uninteresting. And I really wanted something that had a little bit more dimension so that if you look up, there's actually something you can kind of look at and it has like a fun texture. So then I got to work on this little hallway room where there wasn't much space, but I decided to put some hallway tables in here with some little knickknacks on them because I feel like you see tables in the hallways in houses. I felt like it made sense. And then I got to work more on the library. I really wanted it to feel cozy and kind of like a lounge, like a place where you could grab a book and then go sit and read. So I added this little couch in the corner and I put a rug next to it later. And then I went through and redid the entire ceiling in this room. And again, I just wanted something a bit more interesting than was there before. So I shortened the bookcase a little bit, which saves me some books, but I'm still missing one, and I will need to go back and do that. But this is kind of where we finish off with the build on the interior, and I'm pretty happy with it. Alright, so I know you probably saw most of it in the time lapse, but I do want to give you a tour just with the little details and such because I'm pretty happy with how this turned out and I just want to give you a tour. So let's get inside. So starting off in the entryway, we no longer have our scaffolding here because we don't need to go back and forth from storage through the limbo of the underground here. And starting off, we have our lovely little cabinet here with some plants and a tiny ender chest. This is a design I got from Pinterest, and I changed it up a bit because I wasn't really happy with how they did it, but it is inspired by them, so I just thought I'd mention it. It originally had some lights here, which I'm sure you saw in the time lapse. I just decided I didn't like. I wanted it to be a little bit more moody here. And we've got our little dining area with a cute little painting that I actually hadn't seen before this. And our little pantry here with all the food in it. And then my favorite part, which is the kitchen. I think it turned out so cute and I'm really happy with it. I was so mad when it wasn't recorded in the time lapse. I really need to get better about unpausing the flashback mod. But we have this cute little jukebox here and some chests around, some on this side as well. And we've got a lovely little cake and all of our essentials, which are really just covering up the gold from the beacon. Got our hanging plant here, our sink, a lovely rug, and my little armor stand, cutting board, and knife that I attempted. I think they turned out pretty cute. I'm a little iffy about the knife, but I think it comes across. I did also change up this window to be a little bit nicer shaped and wider for lots of light in the kitchen. But that is the kitchen, and I love this room. It's my favorite. But then we head upstairs and into the library, which of course I need so many more books, but just like the library, it's going to be a thing I do over time. I do not have the patience to just sit there and farm cows for hours, so it'll just be a gradual thing. But we've got this little table over here as well with the books on it. I need to get more of these books because I love using them for decorating. They're just so cute. And also, we've got a nice little couch with a rug for you to sit and read, and some potted plants around as well. I should probably put a painting on this wall. I didn't think of it till just now. But then we can go up the spiral staircase. I did also bring the wood out on this so that the glass wasn't just jutting out. And we go up to the attic, I suppose, where we have some more tables with some little decorations on them, and another one up here. And then we have the bedroom, which I feel like is kind of sad for this build, but I really just didn't know where else to put it. It does have a lovely view of the farms, and a cute little bedside table and rug as well. And then we've got some potted plants up here. Honestly, this room up top, I had no clue what to do with, so it is not decorated. It's just empty. But I don't really feel like there's any reason to come up here, so I might just leave it like this unless anybody has ideas. If you do, please leave them in the comments. That'd be great. But we can head back down all the way to our lovely build. And I'm super happy with this. I really like the ceilings that I did, and even though this build took me so many retries and moving things around just over and over again, I am ultimately very happy with how it turned out. And I actually did another interior. It's very exciting. I wasn't expecting to do another one of these this soon, but I do need to keep up on the interiors because having a bunch of empty builds is not fun to investigate. So yeah, this is where I'm gonna end it for this episode because I've put so much work into this keep and I need to take a break. So thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe if you're new. And thank you so much. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!